How can I, 30F, stop my depressed boyfriend, 37M, from overeating and having all of my snacks? My boyfriend will eat all of the snacks in the house, so to counter this I make him buy his own and I buy myself separate snacks. To add, I'm diabetic and also have dairy, egg allergies, so my snacks taste like shit compared to the normal versions of biscuits etc. apart from sweets for when I have hypoglycemia and I need him to avoid hypo-seizures. This problem has now evolved so he eats all of his snacks in a day and then just eats all of mine slowly when I'm not there. I think to try and make it less obvious. My meds basically kill my appetite so it now takes me weeks to get through a pack of biscuits so I do notice when I come back and one or more has gone. We have a small house so I can't really hide him effectively without making it too difficult to get to myself. I'm disabled yo. And throughout all of this periodically I ask him to stop eating my fucking food which he agrees to and apologizes. I think something is going on depression-wise with him and he is comfort eating hard. I don't care about his weight gain, I love him regardless, so I don't want to be too harsh on him but how TF can I get him to listen to me and stop? It really could kill me if I need to have my sweets and they aren't there which makes me want to rage towards him. But obviously that isn't healthy. I think maybe he has almost like a food addiction RN. TL. Dr. boyfriend eats my diabetic snacks. I need to maintain my blood sugars and I don't know how to nicely but firmly get him to stop. Is he disabled too? Why can't he go to the store and get his own snacks instead of risking your life by taking yours? Depressed and I also have a food problem. I've eaten things with the intention of replacing them before the other person notices but sometimes I can't get my depressed butt to the store to do that. It's possible he really has zero to very little control over his impulsive eating. It's so hard to admit and hard to control since it's not like any other addictive substance where you can get away from it. The lock boxes are a great idea, and might even be helpful for him and his own snacks. Maybe find the boxes that have a timer on the lock, he can get an appropriate portion snack, put it away and lock the box for X amount of time so he can't get more. I've never done this as the idea just occurred to me, but I could see this being useful for myself. Your boyfriend might have a comorbidity of binge eating disorder. Get him to get treatment for depression and have it mention him his disordered eating behavior to the therapist. I think the lockbox is the way to go. After that I wouldn't address it further unless he crosses the line and breaks into the box somehow. If you're worried about why he's constantly comfort eating or overeating, I would have a separate discussion about that. Lock boxes and keep the keys in you or combination a secret if he can't respect your food after asking him to. Has he talked to a doctor about his depression? If the overeating is a symptom of depression, he won't be able to willpower his way through it. He needs to get his mental health under control first. You have a lot of compassion for him which is sweet but you could actually die so you need to be a little selfish here and be firmer with him. Ask him whether he knows your snacks are necessary for your health. Ask him whether he cares about your health then explain to him that he needs to stop eating your snacks. End of convo. As someone who eats too much candy if it is available, get a lockbox. My husband loves having candy around but I just can't help myself. So we have a lockbox and when I want candy I have to ask for a key. It may sound horrible to some but he reminds me that I've had some and that my goal is to cut down. Even if I really want more, I simply can't, and it has made a huge difference in how often I even want it. Sometimes I eat a little bit more than my fair share and I have a deal with my GF. If I ever eat something of hers, which I really try not to, I will go out and get her a replacement immediately, redeemable at any time. But really it's a bad habit that I occasionally do and I'm really trying to work on it. My husband is diabetic and the kids used to eat all his emergency food. So rules were made, and signs. Lock them up. What's his excuse for not buying his own snacks? Hi. This doesn't really solve the food, boyfriend problem, but for hypos you should get some glucose tablets and keep them in your nightstand or something, somewhere he wouldn't be looking for snacks. They'll get your sugar up real fast and they taste like chalk so hopefully not crave-worthy. I highly recommend some kind of lockbox. There's tons of options online. You could put a lock on a specific cabinet too if that works best for you. My partner and I have a somewhat similar arrangement. I have severe depression, so we keep large amounts of medications in a locked box and my boyfriend knows where the key is. He also hides cleaning solutions. I'm in the process of working with my therapist on slowly reintroducing normal household products. Asking him to stop doesn't work. He's agreed to stop, but he is lying. He continues to take and take. He knows what he is doing. Don't risk your health on him keeping his word. His desire to eat is more important to him than being honest or caring about your health. Get a box with a lock and store your snacks in it. If he has a food addiction, as opposed to just being greedy and dishonest, there is nothing you can do to change him. He has to make the choice to change. Have you told him you'd potentially die without the food? If you have, then why are you still with him? Maybe a snare. Can't steal your stash if that MFER is hanging upside down. Hide your snacks. Problem solved. Why not have him buy no snacks and just buy more of yours if he likes yours enough to eat anyway? I mean, if I bought cookies and left them for weeks, my husband would definitely eat them, but he'd also go buy more if he finished them. I'm a little confused when you say you need them, but then it takes you weeks to get through a pack. If all else fails, laxative chocolate thumbs up disguised. I'm joking obviously, but I bet you could rage hard, so I went for humor. It really could kill me. Then it is his responsibility to keep enough of the snacks you can eat in your home so that you don't die. If that means buying a giant crate of them off of Amazon to make sure you don't run out, then that's what he needs to do. Or the moment he feels like eating your food, he drags his ass up and goes and buys snack food for himself. He can get as fat as he likes, but he may not send you to the hospital or kill you in the process. Firm is more important than nice right now. This could kill me. You have some good advice about some different possible ways to manage the snack issue. But I just want to say that we all have the right to insist our partners try to be as healthy as they possibly can be, as a contingency of our ongoing participation in the relationship. So yes, secure your snacks in the short term. But insist he seek medical and psychological care ASAP. Put an expiration date on it. If he fails to act, remember that it is a way of saying that his right to be ill is more important than respecting your relationship boundaries. You can't. He's a grown-ass man making a choice to put his hand in the carton and then bring it to his mouth. Repeatedly. And then make that choice again later after you've let him know that you don't like it. Maybe you need to rage at him. Might make him think twice now about eating your snacks. Hey, asshole, just so you know, eating my shit without replacing it is incredibly disrespectful and I'm done with it. Buy your own shit, stop touching mine. You're an inconsiderate ass, mental health or otherwise. This is a hill I will die on. Let me know if I should pack tonight or you're going to start treating me with the same basic respect you want. Maybe an easy solution like putting your name on it in huge letters or in bright colors. Sometimes I binge too, but it's not exactly uncontrollable. I can still respect my partner's possessions. Not hating on the guy, just trying to offer some low-effort ideas. They make lockable pantry boxes, some have codes and some have time delays. It sounds like the root issue is bigger and needs worked on too, of course, but at least this way you'd have a safe snack stash. If you address the depression, the rest should follow, but why not try healthy eating together? As an encouragement for him to stop binging. It's hard to do when temptation is there, but having that support to stop might help also. Get them out of his view. I place mine in my closet out of the way. Thanks all. Looking into lockboxes. Didn't realize they had them for fridges. I'm understanding about mental health and eating disorders, so please understand him not making excuses. He is such a kind and helpful person that this current disregard for the consequences of eating my food is extremely uncharacteristic of him, and we've been together 6 years, knew him 10 years before that, so I know him well, so I feel a practical solution is best. Something interesting I came across yesterday was the idea that when you set boundaries, set them for yourself. What will you tolerate? If you need to maintain your blood sugars, then it is your responsibility to ensure you have snacks around. If your boyfriend won't control his eating, that means hiding it, locking it up, or breaking up, living apart. You have every right to be pissed off, by the way. He may have a mental health problem, and it is up to him to get help to manage it. I'm sorry, but he might have depression or a food addiction but isn't doing anything about it. You definitely have a boatload of physical ailments, one of which could kill you. This isn't an illness contest, but you are being responsible about your health, while he is endangering yours. And why can't he buy more snacks when he runs out? Guilt probably, shame, but that's on him to sort. Get a lockbox first, like others said. Then, sit him down and ask him why the fuck he thinks this is okay to do over and over again. This isn't him eating your favorite chocolate. This is him putting your health at risk. I agree with the lockbox suggestions. They'd be a good way to ensure that you're able to stay safe. Beyond that, have you had a serious conversation about depression with him? It might be beneficial to offer to help him find a therapist who can teach him other coping skills. Not to excuse his behavior, but it sounds as if there's something underlying this behavior. If he's depressed and binge eating, it could be worth it to suggest therapy or counseling. Often these coping mechanisms are a result of trying to control the external world when your internal world is out of control, speaking from my experience only. I wouldn't phrase it directly related to the food issues, but maybe ask him if there's something else going on. Tell him how you feel and how it impacts you plus your relationship. Time to tell him, hey, you understand by eating my snacks you are literally putting my life at risk, right? You cannot play nice on this matter because it's simply too serious. Get a locked box for your snacks, and if he gets pissy over it, remind him again that you can literally die if he's eaten your snacks, and despite you telling him to stop he hasn't, so you're protecting your life. Don't baby him. It doesn't help. Sounds like binge eating disorder. Lockbox is only way. He needs treatment if it's uncontrollable. Lockbox indeed. He's not going to stop. Also, do you want to be with someone who doesn't give two farts about your health? My husband has celiac disease and he always offers me his snacks. And 90% of the time I say, no thanks, because he literally can't eat my snacks. So why should I be taking from the snacks he can eat? If it's something really good and I really want it, then I'll ask if it's okay. I also have anxiety and depression, and I don't think those are excuses to be inconsiderate and eat someone else's stuff when they've asked you not to. People with depression are still responsible for their actions. It sucks for your husband because he may need to work harder to regulate his food cravings, but it is still 100% his responsibility to do so. Lockboxes would be great if it was a child or adult who didn't understand, say with dementia or something. I think your partner will figure out some way to get into the boxes. This is really messed up. He doesn't respect your property basically. You shouldn't trust your partner so little that you have to lock food away from him. He's immature and you deserve better. I'm willing to bet that eating your food isn't his only downfall in respecting your items and boundaries. I'll add to everyone else's suggestions. Buy some glucose tablets for your hypos. You'll be able to keep them out of your lockboxes so they'll be quick to access and he's unlikely to eat them. Okay, so he eats the snacks. That's awful if it's due to depression or disordered eating. You know what depression isn't impacting? His ability to replace them immediately. You could die if you can't get to the snacks. And he won't replace them. I would not go for a sweet and understanding conversation. Hi. I could die, and when you not only eat my stuff but also don't replace it, I can't help but assume you don't respect me or my life, thanks. You shouldn't have to lock your food up to prevent your boyfriend from risking your life by stealing it. Have you pointed out to him that he's seriously endangering you? If he's going to eat them, at minimum he has to replace them. If he's suffering from depression or a food addiction, he needs to seek out treatment for that, and I feel very bad for him. I'm depressed too, but mental illness is no excuse for risking your partner's life. You can't tiptoe around this. You need to put your foot down and tell your significant other that he needs to stop eating your stash. This could end up with significant consequences for you. If he simply can't help himself, then he needs to live elsewhere. He has shown that he can't help himself, so you need to advocate for yourself here. This isn't depression. Depression doesn't turn people into a selfish ass. Please stop making excuses for him. This is entitlement and lack of respect. Tell him to stop stealing your shit or get out. And feel free to rage at him. He knows what he is doing. Get one lockbox for the fridge. Hide the non-perishables in a tampon box. If he is like most guys, those will stay hidden forever. Closing parenthesis. You know the source of the issue, depression. What are your options to tackle that? Does he have an access to a therapist? In the meantime, he clearly does not have control over his own actions. What's the best thing one could do around someone or something without self-control? Be protective of your things. You gotta start hiding yo shit. Or can you carry your snacks with you all the time? If none of those are possible, you gotta decide what's important. Your boyfriend or your snack? Sounds like you live with a dog. Dump him, or say he's getting overweight to the point that it's affecting how attracted you are to him and that he needs to do something about it. That's on your mind, isn't it? Red flag. Dump him, sweetie. Get something with a lock on it. Short of doing something more drastic, that's the solution to the immediate problem. Is it depression or laziness or moochiness? Does he work or are you paying most of the bills? You know depression doesn't mean he gets a jail out of free card for stealing your food. That's called being a ass. Make him get off his butt and go to the store if he wants sweets so bad.